There's two main types of aiming in shooter games, flicking and tracking. It seems like a lot of people struggle more with tracking, but personally, I've always been the opposite. I'm gonna show you a simple but effective method to reduce that shaky and jittery aim of yours, turn it into some buttery smooth tracking. And I'm gonna be throwing in a bunch of bonus tips along the way to help improve your scores in Aimlab and improve your aim in whatever game you play. So to start, tracking can be broken down into two main subtypes, precise tracking and reactive tracking. I also like to call precise tracking smooth tracking, and it's something like this. It involves a target that is moving in relatively the same direction that requires precise and smooth tracking to stay on target. While reactive tracking is where a target is quickly changing directions and you have to adjust or react to stay on target. In a lot of shooter games, people tend to struggle more with reactive tracking. This is as simple as a player strafing one direction and then changing directions, which forces you to react to stay on target. But you need to focus on precise or smooth tracking in order to get better at reactive tracking. Improving in smooth tracking scenarios forces you to have better control over the mouse. If you jump straight into training reactive scenarios without developing that precision tracking, it will cause you to have shaky and jittery aim. Let's take the Aimlab scenario RA jump track as an example. In this scenario, it requires extreme precision to stay on a very small moving target that is moving quickly up and down across the map. We know the general direction it's going. It's not like it's changing directions very fast, but it requires extreme precision to stay on target here. This is the foundation of aiming that we need to build in order for you to be better at reactive tracking. Now that scenario is an extreme example and is only for the best of the best to even try and do. So let's start with something a lot simpler. Aqua Smoothness Level 4 is a basic scenario that has a target moving just on the XY axis, moving at a constant rate of speed, but the target is relatively thin, so it forces you to have a smooth aim to stay on target. Now this might seem very easy to you, so there's actually 6 different levels of this that you can try. We can now take it a step further and add some verticality to the mix with RA Jump Track Easy. This is like the first scenario I showed you, but a larger target and much slower moving. Or another scenario like RA Smooth Bot Easy, which focuses on faster but smooth tracking. It also requires you to use your entire mouse pad because of the wide sweeps it makes. Bonus tip number 1, try setting your background settings to a very dark color like black and change the target to a contrasting bright color such as green. This will help you focus on the target. Remember, you want to be focusing on the target, not your crosshairs, especially in tracking scenarios. Your goal should be to constantly be improving your accuracy in these smooth tracking type scenarios. This is the foundation of the aim that we need to work on. I'd recommend focusing on scenarios like this for the first few days, even a week if you're a very beginner level aimer. Remember, this is the foundation of good tracking. Bad foundation and your aim will crumble. Now let's introduce some change of direction into the mix. If you've played Aimlab before, you've probably played Sphere Track. It's a scenario that rewards smooth aiming, but you also need good reaction time to stay on the bot as it changes direction. I'd recommend starting with Sphere Track 90 as it stays just on one side of the map. Then you could do the regular edition, which will force you to also have to pick up your mouse pad because it moves 360 degrees around you. Another good option that has more vertical tracking is RA Glider Easy. Both of these scenarios reward smooth aim, but they have a change of direction which forces you to react and get back on target. Bonus tip number 2, never try to predict where the target's going to go. Just focus on the target and react to it moving. Don't guess where it's going to go. Once you become more comfortable with changing directions, that's when we start to introduce reactive tracking into the mix. Something like RA Smooth XY is a great place to start. It focuses on micro adjusting for directional changes and is a very entry level reactive tracking scenario. RA Reactive XY Easy will then add more bigger jumps and quicker changes of direction. You can also try others like RA Unon's track and RA RTH Easy. Remember, focus on the target, react to it. Don't guess where it's going. Bonus tip number 3, relax your mouse grip. Don't squeeze the crap out of it. Caress it. Show it some love. I'm not saying it should be so loose that you're gonna let go of it and lose it, but just stop squeezing the crap out of it. Now, if you're already an experienced aimer, some of these scenarios might seem easy to you, or maybe this video has helped you along the way. So all of the RA scenarios have a medium and hard option. If you just search RA and the name, there'll be an easy, medium for medium, and then one with nothing, which is the hard version. Now, thankfully, I've created a playlist for all of these on Aimlab. All you have to do is search T-Captain X in Aimlab. There's gonna be an easy and a medium version. Even if you're a very experienced aimer though, I really recommend starting with easy, at least for a few days, before you get up to medium. Remember though, focus on the smooth training scenarios first. That's the first 3 scenarios in the playlist. This is what you should be spending the majority of your time on. This is the foundation. Then add in the next 3, which focus on smooth tracking, but also have directional changes. And finally, after you feel like you've improved your overall smoothness and control of your aim, should you then introduce the last 4 scenarios. Even if you're just warming up in Aimlab before hopping on to whatever game you're playing, I really recommend doing at least a smooth tracking scenario first before you do any reactive tracking scenarios. Again, the theory of this, or the idea behind this, is that smooth aiming helps reduce any shakiness or jitteriness in your aim. Because the reactive type tracking there's lots of directional changes. If that's all you do, your aim will be shaky, just like that target is. All right, guys, I wanted to say thank you to Aimlab for sponsoring this video. Not sponsored by Aimlab yet, Captain. Oh, we're not sponsored by Aimlab? Oh, wouldn't that be nice? And if you want more tips on improving your aim, go check out this video.